Reading of the school board prayer. I'm going to defer to Mr. Washington for that, and leading a pledge of allegiance by Ms. Barris.
Thank you, Mr. President. Mr. Lewis? Here. Mr. Meyer?
Here.
Mrs. Barra? Here. Ms. Fletcher-Mickens? Mr. Hebert? Here. Mr. Washington? Here. Mrs. Hood?
Here.
Mrs. Arso? Here. Mrs. Dugas? Here. Mr. President, you have a quorum.
Thank you.
God our Father, we thank you once again for this opportunity that you have allowed us, God, to gather ourselves in this place. We thank you, God, for all that is here. And God, we ask your blessing upon every family and every person that is represented in this room tonight. Father, we ask tonight that you would look down upon us, Father, and God, that you would grant us your wisdom, that we would make decisions that would be beneficial to this whole parish, our school system, and every constituent that we know. God, we thank you for what you've already done for us, and God, we thank you for what you're doing. And even so, God, we thank you for the things that you're going to do. We pray, God, that you would bless all in the name of Christ, our Lord. Amen.
Amen.
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Need a motion to adopt the consent agenda.
Second.
For Ms. Dot, second by Ms. Cooney. All in favor?
Aye.
Need a motion to adopt the consent agenda.
So moved.
Moved by Mr. Lewis, second by Mr. Washington. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion passes. Under reports and recognition, receive the administration personnel report. And we have that in our package, and you can read it at your leisure. Item B, recognize and honor Mr. Honore Lewis for achieving Distinguished School Board Member designation for 2019-2022 school board term.
Thank you, Mr. President. And I also would like to include our certified school board member designation as well. But Mr. Honore, and I'll just read it from the legislation, legislators, what the statute says. The purpose of this correspondence is to provide our school board members with recognition as a distinguished school board member for the 2019 through 2022 term. Louisiana Revised Statute 1753 notes that any school board member that voluntarily completes a minimum of 16 hours of LSBA-approved continuing learning units in the first year of their term, which is in 2019, and 6 hours of LSBA-approved continuous learning units in each subsequent calendar year. 6 or more in 2020, 6 or more in 2021, and 6 or more hours in 2022 should receive this designation. So at this time, I will read the certificate, Distinguished School Board Member Designation, Certificate of Recognition, presented to Mr. Honore Lewis. Mr. Lewis?
Receive an honor of this distinction, largely because I had no idea what a distinguished school board member was or a certified school member, and what it entails to achieve this dual distinction. My intent was to get on the board and to serve the students of Assumption Parish, the parishioners, and our taxpayers those people that's involved in making the school system work. That was my sole intention, to be the best school board member I could possibly be. Fortunately, all this came along, and I can tell you, I noted three individuals that preceded me on this board that I really noticed going forward. The first day when I got on the board, Mr. Larry Howell, most of you probably know, he holds the seat. He was holding the seat that Mr. Myers and I hold. He was the keeper of the gavel. And I watched how he kind of carried on the meetings, even when we had some contentious moments on the board, because we're going to have some, every school district had it, not just the state and assumption. Then I watched Mr. Lee Myers, our deceased brother, who had gone on. And I can recall some times when we had these two pieces of legislation coming out from Baton Rouge that eventually turned into Act 1 and Act 2 under the 2012 legislation under Big Governor Bob Jr. And Lee used to come in here and he brought all his bonds, the paperwork, giving this to all the guys. Said, look, all the roles and responsibility that we're going to have as a school board member, that's going away right now. All this going to be going to the superintendent. So he kept us abreast on all this stuff that was going on. So I kind of watched him. And last but not least, the gentleman, Mr. John Beck. And I can tell you, but John, for his many years that he spent on the board and LSB, same thing as Mr. Myers, he knew practice someone on the board from Caddo Parish in North Louisiana all the way down to Plaquemine Parish in South Louisiana. So those are the people I kind of try to pattern myself after when I got on the board. So again, this honor is something that I achieved, unbeknownst that's what out there available to me. And I can tell you a lot of these honors that came about, I achieved them at my own expense. For many of you who don't recall, in 2018 when we had the RIF, and the board decided not to, or to restrict out-of-state travel, not only for the board members, but everyone in the Assumption Parish school system. So that was kind of going on in Biloxi, and I wanted to attend because of a couple of speakers I wanted to hear, and I did it at my own expense. So this distinction of distinguished school board and certified school board member, I know a lot of my colleagues on this panel with me is not afforded this opportunity because of working, and maybe y'all gonna retire one day, so so again, I thank Mr. Superintendent, Mr. President, and also the state of Louisiana, LSB, and the Department of Education for this honor. Thank you all very much. God bless Assumption Parish Schools and everyone within this program. Thank you very much.
Yes. Let me just congratulate you, Mr. Lewis, because I know you a little modest and was not, but you deserve the honor. You did put in some work, and me and you got on the board together, and it looked like you went a long way quicker than I did. But I'm proud to be one of the guys that was taught by the same people you talked about, and we had some long conversations, and we had some long nights, and we did the conference together. And but you did the work, Doc, and you deserve the honor, and I want to be the first to congratulate you.
Well, I'd like to say that it's your wisdom and your leadership has been invaluable for me since I've gotten aboard. And I could tell you my pop had the utmost respect for you. And it goes a long way. And looking forward to the next 4 years. So congratulations.
Congratulations. Congratulations.
Congratulations, Mr. Honore. Also, last year, we had a lot of our board members earn the certificate as well. I know Mr. Honore's certificate was over the course of 4 years, but also I would like to recognize our board members who put countless hours in for the year of 2022. And I'll read the Louisiana statute. Louisiana Revised Statute 1753 notes that any school board member that voluntarily completes 20 hours or more of LSBA approved training hours during the calendar year should receive the designation. And I'll read it, and then I'll announce the names. Certified School Board Member Program Certificate of Merit, presented to Ms. Doris Dugas. Certified School Board Member Program presented to Mr. Honore Lewis. Certified School Board Member Certificate of Merit presented to Mrs. Jessica Arso. Certified School Board Member Certificate of Merit presented to Mr. Jesse Robertson. Certified Board Member Program Certificate of Merit presented to Mr. Daniel Washington.
Congratulations, everybody. That's quite an achievement. Next, we're going to recognize and honor, recognize and honor 2022-2023 Belrose Primary School Support Person of the Year. Mr. Claymore.
Good evening, everyone. It's that time of the month. Beginning of the month, we get to recognize our Certificate of Excellence. When it comes down to our Support Employee of the Month, we always like to put like a little thank you for the dedication that they serve at each school. Their outstanding efforts make a difference between being good and being great at the school. This year's 2023 February Support Employee of the Month for Belrose Primary is Ms. Lornika Stewart.
Hey, boy. Good job, Neek. Good job, Neek. Good job. I'm proud tonight. I am proud. Y'all don't know, but that's my niece. If y'all don't know, that's my best niece. That's my good niece. And that's her husband. You see when she move, he move. That's what marriage does. You become one. But I'm proud of you, baby. And she works hard. Though, I'm gonna tell you, she love her school. She love the kids. And I hear it at home. I hear it on the phone. I hear it all over. But it's a proud night for me as well as her. Great job, baby.
Absolutely, and the kids know you, and to know you is to love you.
She's beautiful.
Congratulations, you deserve it. Yes, ma'am.
Congratulations. Yes, ma'am. Next item on the agenda, recognize and honor Sarah Ball, nurse at Assumption High School.
Good evening.
Buggage.
I am here tonight representing Margaret Cage, who is returning from a conference. So she is traveling as we speak. And again, asked that I present this award. And I will read, I was instructed by Margaret to read it exactly as she did. No deviation.
That shouldn't be hard to do.
You don't deviate when Margaret did yours. So, this is a certificate of excellence, and it reads, the following award is given to Ms. Sarah Ball, Assumption Parish School Board Pupil Appraisal, February 2023, Support Employee of the Month. So, congratulations, Ms. Sarah from Pupil Appraisal Department on behalf of Ms. Margaret Cage, and again, she asked me to share the following. In my best Margaret voice. Good evening, everyone. I am so excited to recognize this wonderful lady tonight. Sarah is extremely helpful. She is a team player and always willing to step in where needed. As I assume the role of working with the nurses full-time, Sarah has been my go-to. There has never been a task, small or large, that was asked of Sarah that she did not take care of for me. Sarah, thank you so much for being a part of my team and being a team player that I can always count on. So, congratulations again, Ms. Sarah. Please come up.
Congratulations, baby.
Right. Next item on agenda, recognize an honor student of the year at the parish level.
Thank you. I said last year, and I'll say it again, that this is one of the highlights of my year where I get to present awards to 3 outstanding students. Not to diminish the hard work that all of our school students of the year put in to being chosen by their particular schools. However, these 3 young people that I will award tonight have not only won at their school level, but they competed at the district level and are representing our district for the regionals and hopefully the state as well. So again, their award their work consisted of interviews at the school level. It also consisted of writing at the school level, and of course they submitted a portfolio which had a lot of accolades as far as what they are doing in their community, what they are doing in their schools, of course their academic achievements as well. So a lot of things that these young people are doing, and again, one of the best things that I have on my agenda for the year. So, representing Belrose Middle School, I would like to congratulate our 5th grade district level student of the year, and I will read the plaque. It says, Student of the Year 2022-23, Anari Parker, for excellent academic achievement, leadership ability, and citizenship. Again, representing Belrose Middle School, 5th grade. Congratulations, Anari Parker.
I did have the pleasure of meeting Miss Parker at Belrose Middle School, and she will do amazing things. She's already done amazing things, so congratulations to her.
Oh, yeah. Bambi and I went to see their science projects,
Oh,
and
yeah.
she was amazing.
Excellent.
Amazing. She's going to, yeah, she'll be a shining star in the district for a long time, for sure.
It's definitely amazing to see students as young as 5th grade compete for interviews in front of strangers, questions they had no knowledge of. Yeah, I'm always impressed. Our 8th grade student of the year, congratulations, River Sanchez, representing Napoleonville Middle School.
We got a couple, but I know Ms. Cathy probably want to get you.
What an honor, buddy. Congratulations. That's awesome.
Good job, man.
Awesome.
And last but not least, our 12th grade student of the year, congratulations, Cassidy Basin.
Congratulations, Miss Cassidy. Good job, sweetheart.
Congratulations to all.
Yeah.
So their work is not done. They are currently working on regional writing prompts. They are also they're having some interviews as well for the regional levels. So let's keep them in our prayers that they're going to represent us at the regional and state level. So thank y'all again. Thank you.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Well, I'd just like to say congratulations. At a young age like that, to realize that what you're doing now is going to, further you so much in the future, it's not common. Or, I can say for myself, at that age, I wasn't thinking about taking advantage of things the way they are, especially in education. So congratulations for being aware,
Congratulations to the parents.
So. Absolutely.
They deserve some congratulations.
And the,
Also.
and the grandparents also.
Yeah. Oh, that's
Absolutely.
grandparents.
For sure. For sure, the grandparents. Don't forget
I
that.
ain't gonna go there.
It definitely takes a community, but it takes a special person to do what you guys are doing, and I appreciate it so much. To the parents, to the grandparents, it means a lot to have these kids, to have that, backing behind them. Good job.
Craig, I don't know if you was that stupid. I went to school with you. I don't know. So the boy probably must have winked him off the other side.
Miss Anna's side.
Well, congrats to all of y'all.
All right, next on the agenda on the policy and procedure, approve revisions of Form 63, Supervisor of Early Childhood, Elementary Curriculum and Instruction Job Description. I need a motion.
So moved.
Second by Mr. Washington. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. B, approve new job description, Supervisor of Curriculum and Instruction Secondary Career Tech Education. Need a motion? Moved by Ms. Dot, second by Ms. Cooney. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries.
I just have one comment on that, Mr. Meyer. I think we have some more work to do with that, and I think Dr. B has talked to us about that already, about having more representation in that department to help with the workload with Ms. Rachel and Ms. Cage. So I think once we start coming up and looking at staffing for next year, that's a priority for us to give them some extra support. That way they can complete all of that and be a good support to the principals and school sites as well. So that's a good note to make on that for next year. So.
All right. Item C, receive update on Assumption Parish School System onboard process for new employees.
Thank you, Mr. President. Past couple of years, I noticed that we truly need to revamp how we are onboarding our employees. We definitely need to make sure that we get ahead of a lot of things as far as informing our new employees, something as simple as who do you call if you have a problem with insurance? Who do you call if you have a problem with payroll? How do you clock in and out? So I asked Mr. Claymore and his department, let's come up with an onboarding process for all new employees so they can get that information up front. So when they go out into the field, they don't have to worry about that. Our employees have to worry about so much taking care of our kids and educating our students that, they don't need to worry about, hey, who do I call or where do I go for information? So I'm gonna turn it over to Mr. Claymore. We started this process. This is just an update, but before we come back to to the board with an approval, I just wanted to give the board an update and a community update. Mr. Claymore?
Did you put the sample in the packet? Or did I-
No, I didn't.
No, sir.
I didn't.
There is a sample out there that we plan on sharing with the principals along with the core team about onboarding process. For those of you that have been on board for a very long time, realize the changes that we have done and the personnel that is no longer here, that we have brand new personnel that's responsible. So as we onboard the new employees that come in, sometimes they're in dire need and it's so fast that they're just thrown into situations and they don't know who to go out and seek. So what we're trying to do is put together a pamphlet I've got together with the master teachers. There's a curriculum piece. Where do you find links? Who do you go to find emails? How do you log on? It's just something that we present to them up front to help guide them through the process. Because the worst thing we could always do, and it does happen because, again, we have so many different jobs. We don't want to get something left behind where someone accidentally doesn't know how to go put in a sick day. You understand? I know it's something as simple as that, but it is complex now because there's a different onboarding system. That's an absent management system that you have to learn how to do, that someone has to kind of sit down and show you. So we're putting together that, but once we finish the scope of work and the framework, I have no problem turning it over to y'all. Y'all see it in your packet, so at least if you get a call, you can just say, hey, this is what we plan on doing, where we're going to. But before I do that, I want to make sure I get everybody's eyes on it, because I may be missing something. Because I'm only looking at it from an HR standpoint, not from an instructional side. So we do have some instructional pieces built in for teachers, but there's other people that need to be on board, whether it's bus operators, bus attendants, paraprofessionals. Everybody still has to be on board in the process. So, but again, we'll get that to you in the next couple of weeks or so. Okay?
I have a comment or concern, because we've been talking at our school about new teachers, and we have so many new teachers coming in, and we have so many teachers who are not certified, brand new. And of course you want to front load them with everything, but then they kind of get lost throughout the year with the processes of where do you go for this, like you said, where do you go for that, what about writing lesson plans, handling discipline. If there could be some kind of, and this is something that we've talked about, some kind of monthly meeting of all the new people to where, at each level, to where you could help walk them through more thoroughly on a monthly basis.
Yeah,
Because they get so overwhelmed.
One of the big issues that we're starting to face, though, right now, I agree completely with that. So I'm hoping with the new, I'm going to call it structure that we're going to build inside the curriculum along with some of the master teachers, we can build some of that. But some of the issue, too, right now is when you create holes in the middle of the year, they're in such dire need, and I hate to call it a body, but there's no one in the classroom at that point in time, and they're just trying to rush them through. We may have to slow the process down because they're being thrown into a process while the system is running, if that makes sense to you. A principal still being a principal. People are still teaching classes. It's not like in the beginning of the year where they got PD in a couple of days, you can match them up. So we may have to slow down the process to get someone before they even get into the building. And we find we kind of like rushing them through so fast to even get like a bus operator, because we got a bus route that's empty. I got to put them on the bus route. Well, when that happens, what happens? They didn't even get into the system while we fingerprint them. Yeah, and I'm not talking about background check them. I'm actually talking about the fingerprint scan system now to log in and out. So we're going to have to, that's really where it's kind of coming from, is that we have to figure out a process monthly and also onboarding from the very beginning. These are the steps that you kind of have to follow in order to be successful. Because the worst thing you do is put a person who wants to come in education in the classroom, and within a month they they so overwhelmed,
Oh,
they're
yeah.
looking to walk out anyway. So it's better, in my opinion, to slow things down a little bit, to try to walk them through. And the master teachers do really a good job of doing that, but again, they do have other avenues, and we only have 3 of them for the whole district.
Good. I just, I feel sometimes like we throw them to, not we, but it's almost like they're thrown to the wolves. They never get a good start.
Correct.
Yeah, that upfront
But that's
time and
hopefully gonna
investment.
try to prevent some of that
Yeah.
by creating like a tree of documents of, how do you go find the curriculum? Now, that's a good
Right.
question.
Right.
How do you go find the state curriculum? They don't know.
Right, because
So,
you mentioned Blackboard or whatever teams, we have teams, and
well,
they don't know where to go.
we'll show you, the sheet's already kind of generated where they got the hyperlinks on it, Ms. Blanchard did a very good job of working with the other master teachers, sitting down, hey, can you find the links for me? They kind of put together a piece, so before we do that, we can get everybody's eyes on it, where it's maybe even just like a Google document, to click on it, and it leads them to the place they gotta go.
I think it's going to be a very helpful tool for a lot of people because I feel like a lot of people want to do the right thing and make sure they're doing the right thing by, the parish's standards. And this is going to create that transparency of what to do and what's expected from
Well, we also
them.
don't want to assume someone knows.
Right.
Or if someone else went PD someone on something.
Correct.
Because I just assume once we send them into school, like, is the principal doing X or is the master teacher doing X? So this way, at least they'll have kind of a tree given to principals and everybody, hey, just make sure you go over this the first couple of days, and then we'll go from there.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Next on the budget, approve out-of-state travel and $50 per student stipend to assist Assumption High School FFA with the cost of competing in the National Land Judging Competition in Oklahoma City, Oklahoma.
Y'all can still come
But
up.
we have we have a few guests in the audience. I would
Please.
like to hear from our FFA members and our team leader.
We're all for it. Come on up.
We'd just like to thank you.
You can't
We'd
hear.
like to thank y'all very much for your support. We wouldn't be able to do anything without your support. We go to these local contests and then we practice a lot and we get better and we really like to go and represent Louisiana and Assumption Parish in Oklahoma. So we're really thankful for your support.
Thank you. Thank you.
Like she said, thank y'all for all of your support. We really enjoy this. We work about 3 months going into contests, travel to many sites, and practice pretty hard. So this trip will give us new perspective and give us some workplace opportunities as well. So thank y'all.
Enough said.
We're still working on her. Thank you to the board, really, honestly. We qualified for nationals again, which is a tremendous accomplishment on their part. And, we appreciate the financial support. We appreciate just the general support that you all give us and have given us throughout the years. Y'all said earlier, it takes a village. Well, y'all are the tribal council. And a village. And, it takes all of us to get to where we are. And as KG said, it's job opportunities, it's learning experiences, it's getting to see other parts of the country and other parts of agriculture in general that they can use as career development. And just, that's what it's called. It's called career development events for a reason. And that's so they can learn. And that's what we're trying to go try and do. So thank you all for your support. Appreciate it.
We've always had such a great FFA program throughout the years that I've seen it. I mean, and the support that you guys have and the culture and the family that's created around all this is amazing. I mean, I've had friends that were in it their whole careers and now have careers, and it's such a part of our culture here. It's a part of who we are in Assumption. And if you've never seen some of these conferences that the kids go to and the excitement that's around those conferences every year, it's incredible. And thank y'all so much for doing what you do. Congratulations for getting that bid. Yeah.
Thank you, Mr.
I'd like
Carlino.
to thank Mr. Carlino for his dedication, because I know he's been in this for years, and it seems like our club, our group always excels, and that's saying a lot for Assumption Parish, y'all, and I trust y'all are going to go out there this time and make us look even better. Thank you. Y'all enjoy it.
Thank you, Mr. Carlino, for all you have done. I know my granddaughter comes home every day and excited that she's in your program. And It's been a wonderful experience for these kids, and, you know, thank you for all you've done for them. And good luck.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, and good luck, and I think on behalf of the retired teachers and myself, I want to thank Mr. Colito for letting us use his big old pot so we can cook that chicken spaghetti and allow the retired teachers to be able to give the awards that they're giving. But congratulations to you guys, and good luck. I don't think y'all need it. I think y'all got
It's
it.
definitely a program that I want my kids to be in. I talk to my primary kids all the time, you know, about getting into it. And my niece is doing great as she stands right there silent, but y'all three young ladies represent very well. Congratulations, sweetie. Absolutely.
All right, I think we have. So I had a motion by Ms. Barra and a second by Ms. Dodd. All in favor?
Aye.
All right, motion carries. Good luck. Next on the budget, receive second quarter budget update. Ms. Randall.
Good evening.
Have the second quarter budget update in your package. For the second quarter through December 31st, 2022, our total revenues was $13,279,710. Our total expenditures for all the programs was $16,517,643. You'll see that we spent $3,237,933 more than we received. So we did run a deficit in that quarter. If you know how our revenues run, our property taxes come in January. So this should catch up in third quarter. Normally for second quarter, we like to see everything at about 50%. Anything that's really above 50%, we go and research and see what's going on. The only area where there's in expenditures, where there's a larger than 50%, substantially larger than 50% is operations and maintenance. And when I look at that, that's our property and casualty insurance is coded to our operational and maintenance budget because of the property that we're insuring, and that came $270,000 more than we budgeted. So that's pretty much why it's higher there. And then one other thing that you may or may not realize, but I want to point it out to you for transparency purposes. In the revenue section, you'll notice that our local revenues are negative. And how can we receive negative funds? Where our investments, when we get our investment statements, we have to book the realized gain or loss. And we had losses in our investments for the end of the year. So that's why that's negative. That's all I have for the quarterly.
Thank you. And you want to continue with
I have
item
one.
C?
I have one question about the grants part of it. There's
Oh,
one,
I'm sorry.
that's okay, yeah. There's one of them, the 8G Family Early Childhood, that negative value that we spent, is that coming out of general fund because it was over the grant amount?
So the grants, we have the grants quarterly report are now 3 pages because that's how many grants that we have. Sorry, I did not go over that. We have not met with program directors. We were supposed to meet on Monday, but because of conflict in schedules, we had to reschedule that meeting. And, what page are we on?
Just the first page of the grant report. There's one that was 8G Model Early Childhood, the grant allocation was 16.
Yeah, so
We
that
spent-
one is all good question.
Yeah.
That one is always negative.
Okay.
AG early childhood doesn't, that is a state Bessie plan.
Okay.
They do not give us enough money to fund that program.
Okay.
So we code is only salary and benefits. So we code those people who work in that program 100% to that fund, but general fund supplements.
We'll cover it, okay, gotcha. And then you have the ones that are not, like, there's just one that has 600,000 still left to spend. We have to spend that before June 30th, is right?
Grant, and there are some issues
Okay.
with for building expansions, and I think codes that are working on getting worked out. So
Okay.
we don't even have an approved budget for that yet.
Okay, gotcha.
Just kind of, could you explain the process when we create these budgets, we submit those to the state? then the state have to review those and then either approve or then it kicks it back to us. So right now, that's what happened. We're in the process of trying to figure out what the exact language we need to submit to the state so we can get approval. So, but that is a process. Even though once we submit it, the state still has to approve it. And if they don't, it pushes us back because then it sends it back to us for revisions. And then we have to submit it back in. So it's normally a process, and I think,
With all grants on here, you'll notice that these amounts are only allocations. When we get a grant, we do not get the money for it.
Yeah.
We have to spend it first and then request reimbursement. So along with that, we have to budget every dollar with them. They approve the budget, it has to be allowable expenditures with the proper language. And once we get approval, then we begin to start spending.
Okay. But we have to use it by the award period date, is that
Well,
correct?
the period date right now, all of them are through 2023. Some grants allow for carryover.
Okay.
So if you don't spend it, some of them you lose it if you don't,
Yeah.
but the majority of these, you will be able to carry over the balance to next fiscal year.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay, you want to continue, Ms. Randall, with C, received
Yeah, I
sales?
don't know if you have to announce it right now.
Go ahead, yeah, please.
The next one is sales tax.
Yes, ma'am.
The sales tax report for the month of December, we processed 1,924 returns. Our total collections were $976,039.78. That was a 15% decrease. The school board received $485,024.78. And the 92 bond fund received $97,004.77. The delinquent rate for the month was 7%. We did receive some audit revenues of $9,567.44. And our auto sales for the month was $220,236.95.
Thank you. Next, receive report on financial risk assessment.
So annually, every year, we give you this report. This report is created by Louisiana Department of Education, and it looks at several factors to say how it would affect the financial condition of the school district. When we look at the report, the first factor is the loss or the public enrollment, your student enrollment. And in the last 5 years, we have lost 13.5% of enrollment. We have had 4 years of continuing decline in student enrollment. Our non-public student enrollment is only 5% of the total public school enrollment. Non-public enrollment is at 147 students. Now, this is as of June 30th last year, because they give it to you on the fiscal year. Local property and sales tax collections in the last 5 years have increased 19.1%. Our financial conditions and district performance, our expenditures on per pupil expenditures are at 92.6%, and we have a B for the district performance score. Our teachers with more than 15 years of experience is at 74.7%, and the state average is 65.7%, so we are above state average. Your chief financial officer is a certified official. And when we go to the next page and look at the good business practices, we received all excellence in good business practice of submitting the budget forms timely, submitting the annual financial report timely. There were no weaknesses on the audit opinion. Our consecutive audit findings, although you heard earlier, there is no audit findings this year, but because we had previous audit findings with the federal funds, we had 2 years with 1 consecutive audit finding, and then 1 year with 1 that was a consecutive audit finding. There was no fraud detected. When it comes to fiscal management question, we had excellent in our single audit report, excellent in program monitoring, excellent in fiscal monitoring. When we look at the audits and outcomes, the general financial statements receive an excellent opinion, the expenditures of financial programs receive an excellent opinion, and the compliance on laws and regulations receive an excellent opinion. Balance, budget, and fund balance. This is the first time that we're able to report in the last 3 years that we are excellent in deficit
of revenues were excellent on the STEM class.
Thank you. I think it needs to be stated that we did have a finance committee meeting before this meeting in which an outside auditor said that we had an excellent accounting. So, kudos to those guys. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.
Good job.
Yes, ma'am.
He counts.
Mr. Claymont, I don't know if you want to share this information, but currently right now, this was at the end of the day, what time? Okay, all right. So our count for this year, what we're looking at the February 1 account, we have 2,647 students in the district that will be counted towards MFP. And I'll forward this information over to all board members, okay? Which is a difference of a negative 92. Assumption High School, negative 74. Belrose Middle School, negative 8. Labradorville Middle School, negative 5. Napoleonville Middle School, plus 15. Pierre Park Elementary School, Middle School, plus 22. Bayou Lewis Primary, negative 9. Belrose Primary, negative 11. Labradorville Primary School, negative 3. Napoleonville Primary School, negative 19. Did I skip someone? That's good. Yeah. So that's our current numbers for February 1, according to our HR department.
Mr. B, do y'all ever ask the parents why they moving these children, or what's the reasoning that we're losing all of these kids?
I would have to talk more with our counselors and our school officials, because when parents go to drop students, they're the ones that actually have that interaction. So I would definitely have to talk to them to get more information. But I think it's
I
worth.
would like to be able to,
Yeah.
just.
Yeah, go ahead, Mr. Clement.
The sheet that he has is a tracking since I've started, since 2015. So I don't have a problem. I got to pull some of the data out, but I don't have a problem showing like the trend of each school of MFP of February 1, and I'll get that sent to you once I get that cleaned up and changed out, because it has some formulas in it for staffing that we just can pull out. The primary school is a little bit different. So I'll give you an example. Some of the schools, you got to be careful when you look at the numbers, because the class they're intaking may be, I'll give you an example, they may only have 53 kindergartners come in, but they're losing 76 from 4th to 5th. Does that make sense? So it's not that the school's not losing kids, it's that the kindergarten class is so small. If I'm not mistaken, the kindergarten class coming in for this year is 179 kids. That's it. That's the smallest it's ever been. Ever been. It's 20 less kids. We've been averaging 200, 200, 200. The year coming up, the prediction from Ms. Rachel from pre-K to the thing is thing. But there is some exposure, if I guess that's where we're really talking about, is really at the high school level, where we really need to visit at and kind of investigate where that's going at. Because, when you look at the true number, that is 80% of your loss. And across the district is at that level. The other 20% is just kids kind of flip-flopping. But if you think about it, the loss of the 20% is really because you only got 179 kids in the district. Does that make sense to you? So if you lost 20 kids out of the district, if you take that and divide that from the 92 kids, that's where the kids are. You didn't have any kids come into the district. Everybody else kind of remained stable as far as moving across the district.
Yeah.
Okay? But I'll share that data with you. I'll make sure I get it out to y'all so y'all can see it, and then we'll go from there. Okay?
Okay. Yeah, I'd like to see that formulated in the sheet and maybe categorize, like, this person left the district completely, or this one maybe transferred schools. Like, can you categorize that so we can see?
The answer to that, Mr. B,
It's
there is
difficult.
some kind of
Yeah.
discussion maybe we can pull from You talking about at the high school level? Or any level?
yeah.
It all depends, because there's different categories. So maybe with Lisa, when I could ask them who has a data person, Miss Lisa, to put together some kind of formula with the 92 kids that are they may not all be missing.
Yeah.
20 of those
Right.
kids are not coming, if that kind of makes sense to you from the thing. So, but the ones that have left the district from 22 to 23, what we can do is I can ask her to pull the data, put them by the category, whether they went to a non-public, whether they left the district and enrolled, whether they went to a home study. Does it make
Yeah.
sense to you? Those
Yeah.
there's
Yes.
certain categories, as you know, you can exit with. But I'll get that data
Yeah.
to you too, along with the map, so y'all can look, at least see the trend that's coming there.
Okay.
But the trend over the last several years, as you know, has been between 75 and 100 kids every year. It has been
Yeah.
the trend.
And Mr. Clem, I think the board, including myself, I think what we're looking at is maybe we can give them, the parents, once if they say, okay, I'm taking my child and we're leaving the parish, the school district, maybe we could have a section on there, a form to say reason why. And that gives us,
Right.
we could get the quantitative data. Yeah, you're going here, you're going there, and look at numbers. But also, I think there's a qualitative piece in there that we can actually get people's voices,
Okay.
capture their
I'll find out
voices.
for y'all.
Yeah.
And we'll try to
Right.
put something
Because
together.
maybe something we can do to keep.
Yeah,
Yeah.
something that we can correct.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If it's
It-
on our part or
Right.
whatever.
It could just be moving, but it could be problematic.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, the ones that are
we
moving,
don't,
we
we
need to
don't
figure
know.
out what's
Right.
happening. But the ones that are just not being born because your birth population
Right.
happens at that
Oh,
point.
absolutely.
You can't adjust that,
Yeah.
until more families are living here with younger families having children.
Right.
But we've always asked for the same thing for teachers, that they fill out a form to tell us why they're leaving, or if there's a reason that we can do something better to make them stay.
Yes, I do have that data, by the way.
Okay.
Okay, but as far as when students leave, I personally do not have that data. I can maybe ask the data people for that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, and I think that a good idea would be to see the neighboring parishes, what's their count? And then we could kind of come up with, hey, are we with the trend or we below it?
Yeah. I mean, this data, we don't have demo studies, so this data is going to drive our decisions in short term and long term too. So since we don't have comprehensive demographic studies for 5, 10, 15, 20 years, this little pieces of data are the only thing we have to inform our decisions moving forward. So
Yeah,
Yeah.
well, with that being said, I think
Yeah.
that some people are very vague about why they're leaving. You're not going to get somebody
for
that's going
sure.
to come
Yeah.
in. So to say that it's a concrete data
No,
is,
Oh, absolutely.
But in
Okay.
Yeah.
J
Yeah.
Campus tracks, if they're moving out of state, if they're moving to another district, if they're within district.
yeah,
so
and
they
that,
track all
yeah,
of
that, but when a parent's going to come in, they might not be totally forthcoming with why. Because it's a personal decision.
For the basis, yeah.
And that's a qualitative piece I'm talking about,
Yep.
why, from a parent's perspective.
Next, under facilities and ground, approved change order for concrete slabs for Pierpont Elementary benches, Mr. Joseph.
Yes, this item is for in the amount of $2,560 to Landry Construction Services. And basically, we are adding some concrete pads around the benches that are surrounding the newly added courts and so forth. Not only to help secure them to the ground, but it kind of dresses it up a little bit, gets them out of the dirt and grass. That request is for $2,560 to Landry Construction Services, and we are recommending.
Is there a reason why that wasn't in the original plan to do it that way? To concrete a bench in?
I will take responsibility for that.
Yeah.
The benches that we selected were from a company called Game Time Equipment,
Mhm.
and they are designed to be earthen mounted benches
Mhm.
so that they're easily movable and so forth.
Mhm.
And in hindsight, I will admit that probably was not the best decision.
Okay. So we're spending another 2,500 on that because the foresight for Pierpont having soft ground. I'm not trying to be an adversarial, but yeah.
Not necessarily the soft, right?
Yeah.
It's also, it's that we're actually gonna make a pad around
Mhm.
the bench itself where somebody's sitting there and has got their feet on the concrete and
Mhm.
not in the grass.
Yeah, I understand.
It's from an aesthetic standpoint as well.
Main point is safety though, correct? Is that, okay.
So it's an overall improvement.
And these are new, this is the new facilities projects, okay.
I did visit the new grounds, and it really looks nice. Y'all did a good job with it.
Okay, I need a motion.
So moved.
Move on, Ms. Byers. Second by
Second.
Ms. Hood. Or Ms. Dot. All in favor?
Aye.
Good, motion carries. Item B, approved change order for bracing for canopy at Belrose Middle.
Yes, this is for additional stiffening supports around this particular canopy, different from the one in Fairport. It's a freestanding canopy, meaning it's not attached to a building. So it's a little bit more open and exposed to the wind structures and so forth. So at the request of the maintenance supervisor who went out and we inspected the canopies, he requested that we add some additional stiffeners to give it some more rigidity and strength. The cost to do this from Landry Construction Services is in the amount of $4,303.
And this is was that a new structure as well?
Yes, it is a new structure.
I'm gonna ask the same question. Is there a reason why this wasn't done in design to begin with?
In this particular case, the structure was designed to wind codes and so forth.
Mhm.
And as far as from a structural or design engineering standpoint, it is sufficient and secure.
Mhm.
This was a request of the maintenance supervisor just because, from his perspective, and with all due respect, and I do respect his perspective, he felt that it needed additional stiffening and supports. It has not been done yet, obviously, therefore we're coming before the board for that approval, but it is an additional material and stiffer to the piece of equipment. So if we had added that from the beginning, it would have been included in that bid.
Yeah.
And this Mr. O'Quinn? Mr. O'Quinn?
Yes.
Dwayne?
Nice
Okay.
woman.
Maybe he should have been here to explain it himself.
Yeah.
Okay. Any motion?
So moved.
Motion by Ms. Lewis.
Second.
By Ms. Hood. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. Thank you, Joseph.
Still there, Joe?
Item C, accept the lowest responsible and responsive bid by Sage Construction in the amount of $352,367, contingent upon a deduct change order for the Belrose Middle School restrooms renovations.
Yes, this was the bid we brought to you all at the last meeting. If you recall, it is extensively over budget, but we had itemized this particular bid so that we could achieve something within the budget. We knew we were going to have to make some cuts, basically, and these cuts represent, we're removing 2 bathrooms of the total of the 5 bathrooms being completed, and that's the bathrooms in building A. So we'll be doing the bathrooms in building B. That includes the 2 student bathrooms there, as well as the faculty restroom. And the deduct for those items will be from those front bathrooms. But in order to proceed, you have to accept the bid first and then approve the change.
Are we changing a lot of plumbing? Are we,
We're correcting a lot of the plumbing issues. We're correcting all of the plumbing issues, I should say. And as I stated at the previous meeting, those plumbing issues are due to the plumbing being 60 to 70 years old. It's not a lack of maintenance. It's not a lack of cleanliness.
Just old.
It's a product of age.
it's
Absolutely.
kind of hard to wrap your head around $352,000 for bathroom that you already have an existing building.
Yeah.
It's like you can build a new house for that.
Right.
It's just kind of hard to,
Yes, ma'am. And look, this is the second time we put this out for bids. And
Third time.
unfortunately, The climate is now, it is in line with the other bids that we're seeing. And you all just, I know you're going to receive bids for some other restrooms in Fairport, and we compared it to those bids as well, where we had some more bidders, and it's in line with it. But I agree with you. The prices today are outrageous. I was told one of the items that we're faced with, this is on another job in another district, but we're seeing 54-week lead times for equipment and things that we need. That's playing into it because if you want to get something done, the suppliers are saying you got to wait. And it's a compounding problem that we're seeing across
What's your estimate of the completion date if we approve this today?
I believe I will go back and look at the proposed contract, and he has 180 days.
Okay. So I was very adamant last meeting about getting this done, but this also opens up a conversation that the board needs to have going forward with 13.5% reduction in student count. It's always, and it's going even further, like Mr. Claymore said, more students next year, the number's higher. We need to revisit the topic of consolidating these school sites that need to be consolidated. And that's going to be a tough subject for us to go through.
We need to
And
stay on
yeah.
the agenda, though. We need to stay on the agenda. That's
Yeah.
not an item that we're discussing tonight.
Yeah.
I understand it falls in line, but we're getting away from the subject at hand.
Thank you, Mr. President.
That's a good,
Information for retreat.
Yep. We'll spend 350,000 and then maybe we shouldn't have spent that. So that's why I'm bringing it up. You know,
yeah, but.
We need to
again-
spend- we need to
again,
spend more than
when we-
that.
When we jump off agenda
But
items.
You've been to the school, you see the school needs a lot of work. It's not one of the, latest schools that we have in the district. I mean, this school been there for quite some time, and yes, it needs a lot of work. And a lot of the stuff we have in place right now at that school, far as the plumbing and all that, it won't pass inspection today, so it has to be done.
oh yeah, I want to spend the whole 350. I don't want the redaction on there, which is what I said last meeting. So, but we got to start. We have to start.
We need
Yeah.
to stay on this and get this done. Because of, just like I said before, if we push it and push it back, it's only getting worse and worse and worse. It ain't gonna be able to, it's just gonna cost more and more. So
Yeah, it's been that way for a
we
while
need
now.
to attack it and get it done.
I think that if you spoke to Mr. Salvo and you spoke to Mr. Oakland, you would see that there is lots of needs. So when we hit one need, that's understandable, and we're hitting that need. But what you gotta understand, we can throw a lot of money at a lot of schools. So this is not just something that, hey, we fixed this and we got it, okay? We eventually, yeah. it
Or we
needs to
could
be
spend 100 million and
it
you
needs
wouldn't
to be-
see it,
it
and
needs
you
to be-
wouldn't see it, you know?
It needs to
Yeah.
be prioritized.
Absolutely.
And so, but again, these are not things that these guys brought to fruition.
I have, over the years, I have done assessments on every single one of your school sites. All of the buildings. I have extensive data in my office on all of those facilities. And I can tell you, you have a tough decision ahead of you because these facilities are they're aging. And they're getting to, some of them, including these restaurants, are getting to what I consider a critical point. Because it's either close them or fix them.
Yep.
And that's not just in Belleville.
Across the parish.
Oh, the last 2 weeks I've been in every site. So,
I've
yeah.
said this to board members, and I've said this publicly before. I could go and spend $1 million at every single one of your schools, and you wouldn't even know I went there. And that's because these are due to infrastructure repairs. It's not cosmetic. It's inside, it's the plumbing in the walls, it's the sewer underground, it's the, so a lot of these numbers that you're seeing is I agree with Mr. Arch. You're gonna walk into a bathroom and say, it shouldn't cost that much to put in a pretty bathroom. But when I have to break slabs and I have to get under the building because the piping is at a point where it's no longer functioning, it becomes a problem.
Have we ever thought about just adding another building, a building
Yes,
instead of,
that has been discussed over the years. That has been discussed over the years.
I'm gonna give it to the superintendent and let him give us his opinion and
Recommendations.
see where we go from here.
I think we need to definitely evaluate our facilities, all buildings, and we need to come up with a plan of how we're going to renovate and how we're going to make sure what the future looks like in Assumption Parish in all of our buildings. So this is not something you're going to solve in 30 minutes, 20 minutes. We definitely have to get out into the facilities. We have to do a needs assessment, and even as a board and even as a district, we need to have conversations about what we want our district to look like, what opportunities we want for our children in the next 2 years, next year, next 5 years. And I think that's where I'm at. I think it's important to not only look at it from a facility standpoint, but also look at it from an opportunity standpoint and an experience standpoint for our children. What type of programs are we offering in our buildings? What type of experiences are we providing? Are we allowing them to go out of state? Are we allowing them to go to STEM programs? Are we allowing them to get involved in things that we currently are not allowing them to be in? Well, I should say allowing, but they're not involved in. You know, so I think holistically, we need to look at it and say, okay, this is the district that we want for our kids and our grandkids to have. So I'm all on board 100%, Ms. Dot. I appreciate it. And I think that's some hard work for us to do, but it's the right work.
So you're saying we ought to move on this project? You feel like we should move on this project?
I believe we need to move on a project because I've been in the restrooms. I know that Mr. Hebert, Ms. Bambi, even if, you know, and we don't foresee having, many kids in that building in the future, but at the same time, it's still our building. I think no matter what happens, I think we still need to be able to have a vision for what we want for all of our facilities. So even if we change our minds about, schools are concerned, but we still need to, it's our building. I think we still need to take care of it and use it in a way that, hey, you know what, it's functionable.
Yeah, I think at this point,
Yeah.
that discussion, it's a good discussion, and we need to have it, but we need to take the task at hand. So, did I have a motion? No? Okay. I need a motion.
So moved.
Moved by Mr. Lewis, second by Mr. Washington. All in favor?
Aye.
Item D, approve the deduct change order totaling $147,572.93 for removal of items 1A through 2Q for the Belrose Middle School restroom renovation. Need a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Moved by Ms. Henry, second by Mr. Washington. All in favor? Any
Aye.
questions? I'm sorry.
Before we move, what exactly is 1A through 2Q?
1A through 2Q is the two restrooms that are located in Building A.
Okay.
And it's all of the items associated with the removal of those fixtures and replacement and plumbing, everything addressing those two restrooms. We basically just isolate them from the bid.
Okay. All right.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion passes.
Thank you.
Thank you, Joseph.
Thank you, Joe.
Okay. Comments and announcements?
Just real quick, Mr. Claymore, I know you just stepped out. Oh, there you go. Just a rough estimate, 92 students, and I know, Mr. Claymore, we have to do some cleanup. From a financial standpoint, what is the impact there if we lose 92 students as it relates to MFP from a financial standpoint? Because that's going to factor in our decision moving forward, because if we lose in funding, we need to account for that.
920-some thousand.
Okay, so about almost $1 million. Okay, thank you.
I had just one announcement. Ms. Sarah Truxillo from Keep Assumption Beautiful had sent a message out to all the staff, I believe. I just want to mention that here. Friday, April 14th and Saturday, April 15th, there's a parish-wide cleanup for Keep Assumption Beautiful. You can get with Ms. Sarah.Truxillo@Yahoo, or go to Keep Assumption Beautiful. I'll let her know I would do that here. So that's a great project. You see the kids and any teachers or school groups or kids that need service hours or groups that need service hours. This is a great project. I know they've done it in the past, and they've always posted pictures and stuff about that too. And I wanted to ask a question. I was at Pierre Park yesterday, and I joked with Miss Stacy. I said, I need to get my CDL so I can drive this bus route. I think there is, if we as a board, we can't be employed by the district, but if we donated our time and got on the roster as a bus sub, if I had my CDL, or if I wanted to sub a class at one time, which I think I want to do, just to get there and see exactly what they go through, is that permissible as long as we don't, as long as we donate our time? To take that under advisement, find out an answer to that, yeah. Yeah. Take it under advisement.
If you want to sub, I got a
All right, good. Well, look, I visited five or six school sites, and that was just a comment that was made, yeah.
I could tell you our teachers work hard now, administrators, so I know it's, on a daily basis, what they deal with, it's tough, so kudos to them, and God bless them on a daily basis, so, yep.
All right.
But, Mr. Myers, one minute. So, for the public who just came in and missed the financial committee meeting, we got an excellent audit from the finance committee and also from the auditors. And that's attributed to Anya and our staff, and thank you very much, Anya. And you know, when you're talking about, it's mandated, what, 7.5% above the general fund, and you came up with, we got 65.6%. That's impeccable. That is good. That is great. And that's good business management. Again, thank you, and thank your office for, you know, keeping us informed, and no internal controls, no audits or nothing like that. That is very good. Considering the business that comes through your office every day, you know, no findings, you know, that's good to hear. Thank you very much. Thank you.
All right, item 9, executive session, request to enter executive session pursuant to LARS 4217A2 to discuss the status and strategy concerning litigation entitled Braxton Evans LeBlanc versus Assumption Parish School Board, 23rd Judicial District Court, Division A docket 38221. Need a motion? Moved by Mr. Lewis, second by Ms. Dodd. All in favor?